That should have solved it, Primus.
Right, let's see. Testing on the stream. Testing. Hopefully you can hear me. Right, so we are back in the Grand Prix for the restart. So, yeah,
I can hear you.
Nice.
So there we go. Good.
Nice, I'm back. Right, we are restarting the Austrian Grand Prix. Not our usual choice to restart on lap 8, but due to very extreme circumstances, the choice has been made. I know a lot of drivers do not agree with it, but in the end, one car was driving, and the whole thing was just a massive freak show. So, yes, we do get to restart the Grand Prix, and we will get slander from this, but in the end, we made a choice that was beneficial, so you, the viewers at home, can still enjoy a Grand Prix, and these guys can still race. I know a lot of them don't really have that much time in their hands, but in the end, we have to make the decision, because we can't just have half of a Grand Prix, or not even a quarter of a Grand Prix, and say that's going to be as is. Because I mean, if we do something like that, we might as well just award like quarter points, because that was the distance.
Yeah, it was far too unstable through. Yeah, again, there's going to be half people that watch this back, or half people in the lead that disagree or agree. If we carried on, there was going to get people that I've reset it, so it should be all good.
Right. So in terms of the formation,
reason.
Oh, sorry, go on.
The reason. Sorry. Yeah, again, there's people saying reason it took so long. The reason it's because it was a difficult decision. It was not a decision I wanted, to do at the end, because as I was going to mention, if we continued, there was going to be people that was like, oh, it's a good decision, and people who's saying it's a bad decision. And if I called the restart, it would be the same. So, but again, let's not go at each other for this. This is the game, etc. So let's just remind ourselves of that. Let's settle down and have ourselves, hopefully, a good race now. No more issues. Let's get with the grid and let's get going. Shall we, Primus?
Yes,
let's enjoy this.
I would
race.
very much like this. It's a good track. We've got some good races in here, and unfortunately, a driver that didn't even really get to even enjoy the start of the Grand Prix from last time was Dan. I think Dan got disqualified before he could even get off the line, which is
we
even
will
by
never know
game
how.
standards. That's incredible, because and it's lights out and get off the track. That's literally what just happened. So we're not going to go through the formation that we already have done so previously. You can see it on the screen. We're just going to go straight from the get-go from a lights out and Brundle, because obviously you never got to have it before. You've got a second chance.
Honestly. I am crossing everything. I know that's probably, but that's actually bad luck if you cross everything, apparently. But I am crossing my fingers that we get no more issues, that we can go with a start. Hyped it up right at the beginning, and all these issues, it's like, why do we race in Austria?
Bit of a buzzkill.
I know.
Hey,
right, come on. Here we go. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. It seems an age, but we are ready for the Austrian Grand Prix of F2, and let's get going. It's a bad start from Breezy. Milan's going to be up on the inside to maybe take the lead off of him, but Breezy outbreaks Milan, and they're just going to get through turn 1 clean. I think they have. They have as well. Very, very good start from F2, but here comes Milan looking on the outside through turn 3. 3 wide between Dan and the Williams and the Alpha.
Oh!
Breezy just about hangs onto the lead.
Bit of contact down the mid-pack, but no spinners, just a little bit of wheel bumping.
Milan still fight with Breezy through turn 3. Side by side between the two leaders. They're still side by side through turn 5.
Oh!
This is great battling.
This is close!
And Milan still not edging by. Finally takes the lead through turn 6. What a start from these two.
And Breezy is not out of the action yet, because he's still right in the gearbox of that Ferrari. Now moving through the second to last corner. There's been contact down the back. That's Steffi Gamer in the Red Bull. the first spinner.
Has had a bit enough for the midfield.
Milan, fastest lap of the race. JJ Hudson apparently has moved up to second place, but that's just the game freaking out. We know that is not the case. So I'll be able to do a quick run through that you like, Rundle. I'll be able to do a quick run through once the grid has managed to fix itself and stop panicking.
Yes.
There we go, Josh.
Are we really surprised that it does this after everything that's happened tonight?
Not really much of a surprise
Obviously,
now.
I'm not surprised anymore.
This game just is full of lovely gifts and pain.
Apart from, yeah, Stygian, unfortunately, in the pits at the end of lap 1.
Has a lot.
See what happened with him.
A lot of ground to make up, because I tell you what, he's way too far back to even make any damage against Steffi Weffy Gamer. So there we go. We finally have the grid back in the correct order. And as soon as they cross the line, which will be momentarily, I'll now go over the grid in a quick, speedy fashion. So going from lap 2, starting lap 3 of the Austrian Grand Prix, it goes Milan in first, Breezy second, Lukey third, JJ Hudson gets 4th place, Dangerous down in 5th, Caesar 2 Wizard 6th, Magic Mark 7th, Sturge 8th, Sparks and Hardy 10th. That's both the AlphaTauri in the top 10. Muddy Biscuit in 11th. He's had a bit of a poor start. Centurion is battling with Josh going into turn 1. Josh gets up into the top position. Centurion 13th, now losing down to 14th position to a Ferrari. Is Sink Dan. Sink Dan's made that a double overtake, going down to the end of turn 3, moves up to 12th position, puts Josh and Centurion down. So Josh 13th, Centurion 14th, Draco 15th, Steffi 16th, and Stygian rounds off the grid.
Nice little rundown. Hudson's putting Lukey under severe pressure after Lukey had a big lock up through turn 4. And I have to say, we've waited forever, it seems, for some racing, and F2 have delivered from the get-go, especially the front 2 in that first lap. That was insane between the pair of them. And again, apart from Stygian in the pits and Steffi having a bit of an off, the train has begun.
Yeah, they've not pulled away from each other because of the disconnections previously. Gaps formed, but we can see now that was not due to the fault of the drivers. DRS assistance. Could the change in hand for the lead of the Grand Prix now fall down to who gets the DRS or not? Right now, though, Breezy is not close enough to make a lasting impression on attacking for the lead. But now, second DRS zone, he's not actually applying any thrust with his battery. He's just sort of relying on slipstream and DRS.
Well, the other thing about this track as well is that ERS is quite strong in here because there's not really a lot of heavy braking zones. There's turn 1 and turn 3, but apart from that, there's not really any huge braking zone to save ERS, so you've got to really manage it. And at this point, look, you've got the top 10 all within a second of each other. It's just slipstream, use a bit of rich fuel as well as Milan. Milan had a spin.
Oh!
Milan has spun it.
The race
the penultimate corner.
He's lost it in the
he's gotta be
second to
careful.
last corner.
Be careful, be careful, be careful. No!
Oh!
Oof. It was close
That
to
was
Draco.
dangerous. Really, it was collecting Red Bull.
Breezy in the lead, but Lukey's on him. Lukey's on him.
Oh, round the outside, going up turn 2 into turn 3. Breezy tries to cover off the inside, but he can't because he's just too far behind. Lukey takes the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix, and I'll tell you what, Lukey pounced.
Breezy's coming back at him. Breezy comes back at him, sorry.
The Uno reverse, yellow versus pink,
Ooh.
going down to turn 4. He holds the inside line. Lukey drags out on the outside. This is a drag race, but Breezy catches the dirt. Oh my god! This is a clean battle though, this side, but Lukey just slowly shuts the door on the Renault.
It's just great racing so far from F2. This is brilliant. Again, we've had so many problems today. Everyone's frustrated, but they're letting their frustration out by just battling ferociously.
And cleanly.
So far. Not saying that they won't.
The battle,
in the end, but yeah,
the battle
really
for the lead's recommencing once again because Lukey got a decent run off turn 1, but this is a little drag down to the end of turn 4. No, sorry, turn 3. Is it going to be a late send? No, it's not. He's going to make it count though at the end of this one.
Run 8 still very close to one another. Look at Luki's ERS when you get a moment. It's very, very low compared to everyone else.
He's
gone
exhausting
massively aggressive. He's going aggressive. He wanted to get the lead and try and pull away. Almost impossible though, because again everyone's in that slipstream train that we're so used to now.
Yeah, he's exhausted. As I said, he's exhausted all of his battery to take the lead, relying on the clean air to give him that little bit of thrust. Oh, and there's a second to last corner. Breezy's simply not going to do it, is he? Oh, he scared us.
Might have been bold.
Oh, almost had a heart attack.
Caesar with a first-time penalty. Of course, remember, because of the restart, everybody on fresh tyres, so these guys can go quite a way, and Breezy's going to get a good run off at turn 2.
Not using any battery, he's saving it for the straight leading to turn 4. He could have made a possible late move to scare Luke into making a mistake. He's actually got a better traction coming out of the third corner. DRS assistance, he's not applying any battery. Again, he's not even using any to make the overtake. Down the inside, going down turn 4. Lukey covers him off on the outside. The Renault sticks it on the apex. They're side by side coming out, but Lukey gets the better traction, and the Renault has to fall behind once again.
Look at this train of cars. Ridiculous. Where's the leader? It's still 3 seconds covering the top 8 at the moment. Look at them all through turn 6 and 7.
Oh, like one move if you're in the top 6, one wrong move and you lose your ability to possibly win or take a podium here. The tack is so close. We're back now to lap 8 of 36. Not under a safety car this time, which I'm glad to see. Breezy runs a little bit wide.
Breezy.
Poor move, and that's allowed JJ Hudson, Red Bull's home circuit, to move down the inside, leading up turn 2 into Ramos. Can the Red Bull take second place from the Renault? Oh, they touch a little bit the wheels, but yes, he can. Nothing, just Dan's capitalising on this.
Yeah, Dan noticed the two of them battling and he's thought, I'll have a piece of this. He wants to get by Breezy as well, but Breezy's still fighting him off. Through turn 4, squeezing him a little bit at the apex and just hold him off.
Good clean racing from them because Dangerous Dan just backed off, but he didn't lose any momentum or pace. He's still quite on the back of Breezy. JJ Hudson now, though, we know him as a very, very conservative driver when he's trying to push his way through the field. Now when he's battling for the lead, he's instantly caught up to Lukey, exhausted a little bit of battery. Lukey still has none to defend with. JJ Hudson is looking to take the lead and maybe even bring home a win for the Red Bull team at their home circuit.
What a fantastic start to this race. Lap 9 is just all flown by. We've had multiple changes for the lead. Really unfortunate for Milan. He's dropped right to the rear of the field. I don't think he pitted. I don't think he got damage after all that. Just had a massive spin. Penultimate corner. This is big side and couldn't catch it. Hudson's got a massive run out of turn 3. And yeah, DRS. Not even using any DRS, just sweeps by into the lead.
Lukey, he almost made that look easy. Lukey just had nothing to defend with. Just the pure straight lines power from the DRS and a little bit of a... Like, he's even just pressing the button in bursts. He doesn't leave the overtake button on. He just gives the car that little bit of boost from the battery, giving him that thrust. And look at that, he did it again, just coming through now to through turn 8. He just presses the button, gets that quick thrust, and then turns it off instantly just to help him if he makes a mistake. But JJ Hudson taking the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix, and now the battle between Lukey and Breezy is about to commence again, but this time for second place.
If they stay in a train like this is all going to be down to the pit stops when they pit. Undercut is very strong around here if you're able to push on the tyres and not be in any traffic. But it being still so close, I mean, even down to Milan in 16th, it's not that far away. 14 seconds, but... Oh, Dan is going for it. Turn 4, big lunge on Breezy. Going side by side again.
Oh, a little bit of a correction there from Caesar 2 Wizard. He goes onto the grass and falls back down the grid. Sturridge round the outside on him. And Caesar 2 Wizard, he's still in the game. He's not lost it completely, but he just lost 2 perfectly good positions there because he had a snap of oversteer.
Yeah, you were saying this about the slightest mistake in this train and you'll just drop multiple positions. Hudson just hanging on to Lukey. Lukey is, even though you say you kind of made it easy for Hudson, maybe this is the plan.
He's managed
Maybe
to
he's
get
just
the
thinking,
back.
yeah, he had to save a little bit. Now he's on the attack. He's not using any himself. It's just simple DRS. Back up, but Hudson, if he can get a good exit out of turn 3, which he does, uses DRS himself, and this is the thing, you can make the move through turn 3, but it can be through turn 4. Lukey though defends. Hudson tried to go for the dummy. Didn't work out.
What a move! It just didn't work. He tried to play a mind game on Lukey, because it's not just about pure overtaking power, it's playing mental tricks on the other car, like thinking, am I going to fake a pit stop to try and, throw him in, or am I going to throw a dummy to try and make an opening? JJ Hudson did that beautifully, but unfortunately Lukey just wasn't phased, so it doesn't give us that little spectacular show there. But tell you what, that had me peaked there in terms of interest. Magic Marks goes into the pits. Fortunately, doesn't speed. He's all good.
He makes the call. He's the first to blink. See, he could be leading when everyone else is pitted. That's how strong the undercut can be. Where does he go on to?
Yeah, 2-stop. Yeah, he's going for a 2-stop strategy.
Ooh,
he's going soft, medium.
Very aggressive.
Meanwhile, Stygian, a lonely 17th position down the back of the grid.
Yeah, unfortunately for Stygian, pit stop right at the start. He needs a safety car to get right back in, and sees a Wizard and Sturridge going side by side for turn 4. There was contact between the two.
No damage, but that's costed him massively. Muddy Biscuit can now capitalise on Caesar 2 Wizard's mistake. I think tyres, as well as that little bit of contact, are starting to degrade heavily, especially if you're a soft compound runner. Meanwhile,
Red Bull pitting, Hudson.
Weezer? Caesar is having problems. I think his tyres have just simply fallen off. I know everyone's going to be making the Bono jokes, but, I think for Caesar 2 Wizard...
Bono, the tyres are gone. Bono.
Gone their tyres.
Hudson onto mediums, the opposite of what Magic Mark did. Where is...
Muddy Biscuits on the hards.
Ooh, okay. One stop then.
Relying on pit stops near the end of the...
Ooh.
Oh!
Magic Mark's done the undercut on Hudson. Hudson's going to have the slipstream though, and he's using a bit of VRS to get back in front. Oh, it's a big lunge.
Dangerous Dan and Breezy at turn 4. Going down to turn 5. Breezy tried to defend. Dangerous Dan moves up to 2nd place.
Sink Dan's had a bit of a spin through turn 4, but he's gathered it up again.
He's got damage though. Right end plate damage.
In all this, Lukey's actually just got a gap. 2.1 seconds ahead, and he's in the pits.
And meanwhile, while the pit stops are happening, Dangerous Dan has taken the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix, but I don't know how long. He has made previous strategy calls in the past in China, where he's dragged out his tyres longer than needed to be, fell down the grid. I didn't expect him to push through, and he actually came back to win that Grand Prix. Could he be trying to replicate China? But we can't know for certain, because it looks like a load of people now are making their decision on boxing. Milan has got 13 lap old soft. I think he left it too late.
Lukey's come out the stop right ahead of Magic Mark. Magic Mark going aggressive in that soft strategy.
This is for the net lead.
Up in the inside. Yeah. Magic Mark's going very aggressive. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. He needs to push on these soft tyres. And now he's taking the net lead, but Luke is having none of it. Getting back at him. Said, don't go free wide. No.
No damage though. That's good though.
How did they get out of that with no damage?
I don't know, but they it's like they just touched wheels, but that was about it. But this is bad for Lukey. Magic Marks has now managed to pull away from them both now already by a substantial margin, and Milan is in the way. Milan sells a dummy. But it didn't work. He tried to do a switchback, but it didn't work, and he's immediately put the car in the pits. But out of that ordeal, Lukey did not benefit from that at all.
Yep.
Ooh.
As you say, Magic Mark is really benefiting from this. He needs to.
However, Marks has just lost a lot of time to Lukey, even though he now technically leads the Austrian Grand Prix. Lukey is putting good enough pace in to put pressure on the Williams, and the Williams has fresh, soft compound tyres on.
Yeah, they got a lap or so to get up to temperature. It needs to break DRS and just get out of this, and hope that Hudson and Lukey just battle so much.
It looks like in terms of straight line power, Lukey has got the setup for it, but in the corners, he does suffer.
Sturridge pits. He was the last of those that started on the softs.
And now Hardy takes the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. Can't talk.
Just ahead of Mega Centurion. They're on medium compound tyres that have yet to pit, as is Draco now into third. So Magic Mark still retains the net lead when those guys pit.
We see team orders come into play. If Draco lets his teammate by, Draco could probably try and play the team game and give Magic Marks that little bit of leeway to open up the gap and break the train. Draco could easily do that, but are they coordinating enough to play that strategy? Because it looks like Draco is losing out a lot of time to his teammate, and if the more Marks gets held up, the better it'll be for Lukey.
After the hectic start of that first stint, 2 battles at the moment.
There you go. Draco is hugging on the right side. He's let his teammate go.
Liam's team orders. You love to see it.
That's good for Draco. He's made a good impression for the team. He's let Marks go on the better strategy, and now...
Oh, you see that weave?
Yeah.
You see the weave from Mark. Very nice.
It's a thank you. It's almost like the equivalent of when you flash your 4 beams to say thank you to someone or sorry.
Yeah.
But now this is good because Marks has kept his teammate in the DRS, which has given Draco the ability to stay with him, and it's now allowed Luke. It's now actually nightmares for Lukey.
Hardy and Centurion still leading this race, half a second between them. Hudson is all over the back of Lukey, who is
now
needs to. Oh, it's Wizard.
Oh.
He's a Wizard. He's not having a good time at all.
I think Dan's now going to try and make a move down the inside, maybe, or around the outside. Depends on how this Alfa Romeo can really cope with the struggling grip of. I don't even think it's his grip levels. I think he just doesn't like the setup he's got or the track. He just can't seem to get some pace down. It's just too hard. Might not be his favourite track in the world, but he's still giving it a good go. I have to give him respect for that.
Draco's really holding back Luke. He's actually doing a big job for his teammate Magic Mark. Got almost sideways though. This is the chance for Luke. He's got to get by. He's got barely any LS to do anything, but he's got to go for it. On the inside, bit of a lockup, but yep, job done.
Draco did his best to hold his teammates ground, try and keep Marks in the advantage there. Lukey was struggling a little bit with the cornering in this battle, but now he's managed to get that clean air again to chop down.
Hudson, this will be bold. This will be bold. This will be ARS penultimate corner overtake, maybe. No, taps the back of him. He's getting frustrated.
That's a good recovery,
though.
Marks may have gotten that.
You can sense he's getting frustrated.
Sorry.
Yeah. So he's getting frustrated behind Draco, but by this time, big off. Ferrari and Stygian and Sync Dan, I think, have had a connection because Stygian is out and Dan's off in the gravel. What happened there?
I don't know, but it's not a safety car because Stygian's car is well off the racing line.
Might have been a separate incident, actually. They're too far too far beyond.
Dan's
if that makes
pitting.
sense. And too far apart. Ah, Dan.
That might be a
Not had a
retirement.
good race himself. Yeah. So Hudson did get by Draco, which is good. He needs to stay on the back of Lukey.
No, it looks like Dan's sticking it out. He's going to say, oh!
Yeah.
Centurion, sorry. I thought Centurion had a tail, like a bit of an oversteer, which sent him into the pits, like what happened to me a while ago. But no, he just simply made an...
What's he going to go on to?
That's a good question. He's dragged out
Softs
those
won't go to...
tyres.
Ooh. Softs to the end? No.
No.
Not a chance. 16 laps?
Actually, here's another factor we didn't even put in here. Sync Dan, a back marker, could he potentially hold up marks?
He wouldn't. No. I mean, he's trying to unlap himself from Hardy, I think, actually. It's a difficult situation here, because obviously he's on completely fresh tyres. Who else we got there? Draco's dropping back, because obviously his tyres are starting to wear out a bit. 19 laps he's been on them, which is an indication for everyone else currently on the mediums how far they can take them. They're going to go another 16 laps. I'm not sure they could make it, because, yeah, Draco's now in, having done 19.
Oh, Breezy's
and he's...
hit the back of him.
Oh, no.
Breeze.
Oh, and what's happening with the other Renault? Sturridge has stopped.
Oh, my God.
Oh, stop. Whoa. What's happened there?
You saw that?
Was that lag?
He stopped on the racing line.
Yeah. He's going again? Did anybody hit him?
A Ferrari did. I don't even think that he was actually there. I think that might have just been a desync issue.
Huge lag. A huge lag thing, I guess.
Oh,
That was weird, because obviously we saw Breezy, and that's a real shame on pole sitter
oh,
for Breezy. Oh my
taking the
goodness.
Sebastian Vettel approach, going on the
Right
grass,
onto the grass.
making an attack, but unfortunately that grass just didn't give him the grip and traction he needed. But he's gonna stick it around the outside on the AlphaTauri.
There we go.
Can't do it though. He's had to back off. And Magic Marks, for the first time in a long while, has taken the lead of a Grand Prix. He's taken the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix, and now he needs to really get that gap open between himself and Lukey, because this strategy is an aggressive start but a preservative end.
Oh, it's a mad race so far. That was a weird image, the two Renaults. I drive for a Renault. It should bring a tear to my eye, and it kind of does. Breezy, pole position, man. I said at the start, I wish, well, long ago when we had our second take of this, and I wish he has a good result, because he's had not a great time the last couple of weeks, and it continues once again. Still in the race though, 14 laps to go. But, and then obviously you had the other Renault doing a weird thing. So,
Well, Sturridge is desynced. I'll try and get him back in.
oh, that's why. He just stopped on the track though. It's just so weird.
Oh, late lunge by FF1 Milan on the AI of Sturridge. Good move. Josh is now going to try and do the same, but do remember the AI don't like to play nicely.
Oh,
He's
God.
sticking it on the inside. Luckily, clean overtake. Round the outside goes Steffi. What a move on the AI.
You've got to be aggressive on the AI in this game. Mark Pitts.
Oh,
We knew he was
Draco.
gonna.
Draco's hit it, but luckily no damage, but that was close.
Right, so Mark Pitts onto medium, safe towards the end. This is the conventional two-stop. Now he's going to be on much fresher tyres than everyone else. He's going to come out and clean air. Yeah, plenty of clean air. So
That's
this is perfect for him.
perfect. Beautifully done. I think Marks has a real contention of winning the Grand Prix, because Hardy and Centurion can't take those softs to the end. They will expire. The only person who might prove to be real trouble for him is Muddy Biscuit.
He's on hards though, and although he is, yeah, he's about 8 seconds behind Muddy. Muddy's in a great position here if the four ahead pit, and I'm pretty sure they need to. Especially these two, Lukey and Hudson, because they've been going at it for last 10-12 laps. They're not saving tyres at all.
And Sparks has actually been kept honest here. Like, Muddy has put an immense amount of pressure on him. We've had a car having problems down the bottom of the grid. That's Sync Dan, actually. That's him finally calling it quits and retiring from the Austrian Grand Prix in the pit lane. So unlucky to for Sync Dan, not Dangerous Dan, to Sync Dan not being able to finish. It would have been nice to see, but
What on earth is going on here for the last point? This is Josh, Draco. Draco's looking for a double move on Steffi and Josh. He's got by Steffi, looking at Josh.
He's
Sees a Wizard is here as well. Yeah.
Oh, watch out for the Ferrari!
She's... Okay.
Down the inside.
2x2 wide.
Draco makes the move. Josh just doesn't have the grip to retaliate with.
Oh. These a Wizard hit the back of Josh. This is on for the last point, and I think Steffi's just going to stay ahead of Caesar.
Caesar's got damage again.
Jeez.
Oh, Muddy! Muddy's past Centurion. No, he's not past Centurion. He's staying in fifth. Sorry, that's me. But Centurion is putting pressure on Muddy Biscuit. Obviously, it's soft compound tyres versus the hards. Muddy is obviously in the disadvantage, but he is getting the DRS assistance off of Sparks up ahead.
Oh, here's Hudson. Here's Hudson's got a good run out of turn 2. Pulls the dummy on him. Swish, swoosh.
Oh,
And look, it goes a bit wide on the exit.
that's a Sebastian. No, that's a
Hudson.
Charles Leclerc Verstappen move there.
Yeah.
But JJ Hudson, a superb.
Caesar Wizards called it. Caesar Wizards called it a night, unfortunately.
Ah,
Was Muddy is all over the back of Sparks. Mega Centurion, who's on 4-lap softs, is trying to be aggressive going up through the field, is trying to get by these two as well.
the longer he's stuck behind Muddy, the sooner his tyres go. These softs can't afford to be hindered.
Right. He's looking to try and make a move. It's a crazy race, this is. Crazy. Oh, he's got a huge run out the last corner. Surely not turn 1. Surely he's thinking about it, but no. Oh, taps the back of him.
Hang on.
Hmm.
Something doesn't seem right. Oh, no, never mind. It just seems like dangerous. So Magic Marks is just losing quite a bit of pace. I don't know if he had disconnected, but I think he just might have had a little bit of an off somewhere.
Yeah, Mega Centurion really attack. He's got by Muddy Biscuit. He's trying to go running outside of Little Sparks. It wasn't the room. Muddy's like, well, I'll put my car in all this as well. This is for 4th at the moment.
It's bringing
Hardy
Hardy
behind us. Yeah. So, situation you got right now, you got the 4 ahead on mediums. They could maybe get to the end. You got Sparks, Dan, Lukey, and Hudson. Centurion has to pit again. Muddy's Biscuit definitely hasn't. He's in kind of the safest position, although his hards will be won towards the last 2-3 laps. They've got Magic Marker could chase him down, but it seems like
Marks just cannot close the gap. After pitting onto those mediums, it looks like his pace is just complete.
Hardy by bombing on Muddy Biscuit, rubbing tyres on the exit.
It's a drag race.
I'll get a good camera angle out of this. It's not going to work. Still rubbing.
He does it.
Oh.
Now the question is the
Robust.
AlphaTauri going to do the switch, or are they going to fight each other?
You sure they both need to pit again? See, here's the thing. Of those on mediums right now, the top 3 now, because Centurion's got by a lot of Sparks. They could get to the end if they're very good on their tyres, but Lukey and Hudson, they've been going at it. Surely their tyres can't go to the end. They've been fighting so much.
Spinner, it's Breezy.
Breezy. Oh, man.
And to add on to your point, these two fighting are killing their tyres. And I know Marks is struggling to pick up pace where he is at the moment, but I'll tell you what, he's made up 0.5 of a second. And he's still 14 seconds behind JJ Hudson, so he still has a chance to maybe pip some positions from pit stops, because everyone but Muddy will need to pit. I don't see those hards getting to the end.
Retire.
No, hards, medium, sorry. Oh, Breezy. Start on pole. Now I'm 14th, and obviously he's not going to advance anywhere because he's now out. But right now, impossible chances to take the win here is Dangerous Dan. If the medium runners choose to take the gamble and stay out, Dan has no penalties.
Yep. And he's got 1 lap, well, he's got 2 laps fresher than Hudson and 1 lap fresher than Luke. That could be the difference to just get him towards the end.
Oh, we could see a change in hands for the lead.
Oh, Luke again.
Lukey sending it down the inside into the 3rd corner. Sends it late. Locks up. Hudson gets the look on the inside. Both get good traction. JJ Hudson has the DRS assistance once again, but it looks like in terms of the straight line speed, Lukey just plummets away.
Used a bit of VRS on the exit just to seal the deal, whereas Hudson didn't use any. Bit of a cat and mouse between these two. And Dangerous Dan is just like, yeah, you keep on doing that because you're not gaining the gap to me. I'll just stay penalty free.
He's just like a cat waiting in the, like a wild cat waiting in the tall grass, waiting for these 2 little herbivores in front of him to make a mistake and then pounce. Sounded more like Jurassic Park than David Attenborough.
Yeah. Do they both have 1? Just actually checking this.
The Alpha Tauri ain't playing
Hudson.
team. They ain't playing teamies.
Hudson has 2. Hudson gets 2 penalties actually. Mega Centurion has 2. Josh is 15. To be fair, there's been quite a few that don't have penalties at all, and that's quite impressive. Oh, what is going on here? 2 Alpha Tauris on the Alfa Romeo.
Oh my god.
Alpha Trio. There's no team orders, I don't think.
Nope. It's the battle of the Alphas. Who's the Alpha on top of the pack, though?
Who's the Alpha male?
Looks like Centurion stays ahead, but Sparks is not giving up on this, and neither is Hardy.
Oh,
this is too risky for Alpha Tauri, because this could end brilliantly or end with nothing at all.
Yeah. Oh, you can see Hardy's just got so much better grip. Again, though, I don't think Centurion or Hardy can get to the end on those. We've seen softs, say 10, 11 maybe fresh, and they would be fresh, so they could, but they're going to be shot at the end of this race.
Oh! They lunge. Magic Marks has cut the gap down between himself and Muddy Biscuit to 5 seconds. He's cut down 1.4 off of him, and Hardy is finally going to make the move on Little Sparks. He's going to move down the inside in turn 3. It's 3 wide. It's a double overtake from Hardy. Hardy pushes the Alfa Romeo wide, and Sparks takes advantage of this.
I mean, teamwork, I guess.
I guess so, but Hardy,
teamwork.
It may be teamwork, but they ain't playing nice.
Dan on Hudson. Dan on Hudson. Sorry, Dan on Hudson. Dan's not sitting back. Actually takes 2nd place away from Hudson. Maybe Hudson's tyres are starting to wear off a bit here, because he's dropped away from Luke, or maybe made a mistake. But either way, Dan's into 2nd.
Oh, what a battle as well. Hudson's not falling back as well. But I'll tell you what, between those Alpha Tauris, I don't think I've seen such close battling since Brendan Hartley and Danny Kvyat back in the Toro Rosso days.
Okay, we have another penalty. That means he's on 9. Keeping on the penalties now. I'm worried about these two guys on the softs.
Oh, he's doing it again. Down the inside. A battle of the teammates. They touch wheels. Ooh. Runs wide. Goes Little Sparks. And Hardy moves up. And the Alfa Romeo of Mega Centurions had a little wobble. I think Sotta starting
Muddy Biscuit eases by. Almost he's been on 11 laps, yeah, so Hardy's going to have this. And he's still got another 4 laps to go. This
is risky, though. Muddy Biscuit's coming up to a really, really aggressive battle between teammates. He just needs to do his best not to get collected.
Oh, Hudson nearly lost it as well. They're all on worn tyres at the moment. Dan's in the best position. Lukey has to push because he has 3 seconds and he's nearly got it up to 3 seconds, to be fair to him. So Dan needs to maybe push a little bit.
I'll check Lukey on the
2.9
race director to see what he's got. He's got a penalty. And no, he's only got 1 warning right now. So he's 2 warnings away from collecting his second penalty. So Dan has to rely on closing the gap if he wants any hope of winning the Austrian Grand Prix. But he has got 1 lap fresher tyres than Lukey. So there is that to play. And we know these things only last 19 laps, 20, and they've got to blast 4 more laps. Sturridge has retired. That's the end of Renault's day.
It's looking good at one point. I think they were in a net 4th and 5th.
What a
3
day.
laps to go. Lap 33. And on the 34 as Lukey crosses the line. He's on... His tyres would have gone 19 laps now. And this is where... might start to get a bit sketchy.
This is where they really take their gamble into play. Lukey's struggling because Dan's just cuts off 2 whole tenths of a second just down the start-finish straight alone on Lukey. But managed to lose that ground he just made after turn 1. JJ Hudson is maintaining. He's not gaining, but maintaining. No, he's actually fallen out of the DRS.
Yeah, he's starting to struggle, I think.
If JJ Hudson is struggling with 20 lap old mediums, imagine what's going to happen for Lukey in the next coming laps. It's 2 more whole racing laps and then the final lap.
Hudson's even at this point. He's in a tough situation. He nearly loses the car because he's got two penalties. Which means he's going to lose out on Hardy anyway, and Little Sparks, and Muddy, and maybe Centurion.
Sparks is gaining on...
Well, not Centurion.
Centurion.
Not Centurion, because Centurion's got 9 seconds himself, so...
Oh my god, this is huge.
Lukey's gone over the 3 second. He's pushing like crazy.
He is. Breezy's got a 5-second time penalty, even though that's a late warning, like late thing in the game because he's already retired. Don't know why it told me that now. It's useless information to me.
I think Hardy's going to be under serious pressure from Little Sparks' own teammate on this next lap and a half, and this is going to be from the podium. They're going to be absolutely shot, I'd imagine.
If Hardy can take these to the end, fair play, because I've not seen a soft last that long. This is puncture territory for him.
Got a flag. Don't know what's going on. I think it's one of the Ferraris, Milan, who's just holding on to a single point. Securing another penalty. This is going to drop him way back.
Oh, JJ Hudson struggling to keep his car on the track now. He's really feeling the degradation from this. Could we be seeing a puncture?
That a puncture for Milan? It is.
Milan has a
rear
left
puncture. And he's been on them 19 laps.
Oh my god,
so
could we be seeing
Lukey
a
is going to be
Silverstone?
biting nails.
Could we be seeing it? This is puncture territory for the the Red Bull, the Mercedes, and the Racing Point.
Oh, look at this. You got Hudson, who's under serious pressure from the 2 Alpha Tauris. He's going to lose 3rd place anyway. Oh, and nearly spins the car on the exit.
He's going to send it!
Oh, look at the heavy defending. Hardy bashes into him. And there comes Little Sparks on the inside of both of them.
Oh my god!
And cuts off his nose. Hardy cut off Little Sparks' nose. And the podium has slipped away.
And round the final corner, sorry to cut in, Lukey takes the win in Austria. Now followed by Dangerous Dan, a superlative drive from him. Hardy collects his first podium in RSF1, if I remember right. Hardy, P3, Centurion 4th, Muddy 4th, Magic Marks gets 5th position.
Oh, Little Sparks. Oh dear.
And
The
that,
AlphaTauri's connected on the last lap.
and JJ Hudson's parked on the side of the track. He is furious. If he doesn't get across the line soon, it's going to hand the final point to Haas.
Yeah, it will do.
And that's all she wrote.
Yeah, Josh is going to get 10th.
JJ Hudson
We're gonna have 10.
disqualified from the Austrian Grand Prix.
Yeah, he was parked. I'd imagine he'd be seething a little bit.
What a race.
Gotta hand it to Lukey though, because that was very, very well managed. I can't imagine what his tyres were at the end.
Hardy surprised both of us though. We thought those softs would have to pit again. He took it to the end and benefited massively from his teammate and JJ Hudson's incident on the final lap on turn 8. Unfortunately, if you're JJ Hudson, you probably would be wishing to forget this day even happened. But for Dangerous Dan, Lukey and Hardy, you'd be laughing because Lukey, with that penalty, almost seemed like he was going to be scared in losing his lead to Dangerous Dan, but Dangerous Dan just couldn't find the pace near the end. And yeah, well-earned podium for the top 3.
We got there. We got there, and I'll tell you what, I gotta give it a hand to F2 in general. That we had some issues. By God, we've had issues to get there. But when we've got there, the start of that race, the first stint, that was ridiculous, and the ending as well. There you have it.
Parted the top 3.
Right, so Lukey takes the victory by 7/10 of a second, even with his penalty. Dangerous Dan in second, Hardy in third in the AlphaTauri, Muddy Biscuit in fourth. No penalties again, and again from 11th on the grid, consistent. Still in that championship fight. Magic Mark to 5th, Little Spark 6th, Draco 7th. Draco, good result to 7th. Mega Centurion dropped off at the end to 8th. With the penalties, 9th for Steffi Weffy Gamer, and 10th for Josh. The last of the finishers.
Good God, what a race that was. Right, let's try and get some of the others in, because we've got Hardy. And we need Lukey, and we need Dangerous Dan. Try and get the rest of them in. But yeah, that was interesting. I can't wait to start the interviews because I want to hear what all of them were doing. Because that last moment there, the moment we saw that rear left puncture on FFR Milan's car, we knew no one in front was safe.
Just shows though anyway, doesn't it, with the when you get punctures or how good people are on their tyres, because Milan had 19 laps on his mediums, Lukey had 21, and Dan had 20. So just the way it goes sometimes. Maybe he was over aggressive on his no tyres. We will never know. But it's just the way league racing goes.
I've invited
Lukey
3 times now, and he's not. There he is. Right.
There we go.
How do you want to play this in terms of order, in terms of interviews? How would you like to play it?
It's normally your show, so you do third and first, I'll do second.
Rightio. Hardy, make sure you've included your audio by clicking the box in the party, please.
Yeah.
Right, before we even go on about what happened today, this is your first podium, correct?
Yes.
With an RSF1 at least.
Yeah.
Right, well, first of all, well done. That was not an easy Grand Prix, especially with the problems in the first bit before we restarted, and then the very difficult transitions that he was having there in the race. But you had a very, very difficult moment there at the end, because for a brief moment, we thought team orders were coming into play, but you and Sparks were heavily battling. I've not seen teammates go at it like that, because at that moment we thought at any moment your tyres could either explode from being taken so far to the end, or teammates battling so hard like that with each other, it could end up in tatters for AlphaTauri. And partially it did for Sparks with that contact with JJ Hudson, and that gave you the winning factor in that fight. But I imagine you're pretty happy with that P3.
Well, my tyres weren't even that bad. They were on like 65% at the last lap.
What?
So, yeah, because I under fuel by -3 laps, so I've run lean every single traction zone. Because there's no point running rich around here because your engine overheats because you're always in slipstream trains. So yeah, my tyres were pretty decent. But just alluding to that incident, let's call it that, on the last lap. For some reason, my teammate, he clearly knew that I was behind him. So I was behind him, saving the RS for the last few laps. But for some reason, JJ Hudson, he was really slow. Like, I was quite worried about it because I didn't realise that he had a penalty. Well, like 6 seconds, I think he had. But yeah, his tyres were gone. And into sector 2, through that tight left-hander, he decided to just completely squeeze me out to the inside, even though there was plenty of room on the right-hand side. So that sort of caused us to make contact. And then my teammate came flying up the inside. So what happened was, me and Sparks were basically side by side at that point, going into the next left-hander, and he just decided to just smash into me. I'm not sure if it was the same on his screen, because I know that this game's awful for, like we just had an issue on the last lobby, so we had to restart. But yeah, just on my screen, he did just smash into the side of me, and I looked at my rearview mirror, and he's facing the other way. So I'm not sure what happened there. Unfortunately, my game hasn't let me record it. It says capture screenshot, but it doesn't have the selection to record it, so I haven't managed to record it. So it might be a podium, it might not be, because
in the end, we did capture the battles and all that, but that's something to be dealt with after the Grand Prix. But in the meantime,
I'm sure we can try and sort something out. I'll have a word with Camo and those lot about it. But yeah, anyway, it was a fun race going from P14 to if it's a podium or not. It was fun. I don't really take this seriously. I take the racing seriously, of course, but it's not the end all or be all if I miss out on a podium. It was just a fun race, and I want the entertainment factor and racing people.
That's the best part though about league racing, because I know sometimes some people really want to go in it for the glory of the podiums and all that, but you take in for the fact today, even before the steered reports, and all that, you had fun today, and
exactly.
Not many people actually do that in league racing, because a lot of them really want the good result.
Yeah, they really get into it.
Yeah,
like it's like they actually are F1 drivers at the end of the day, when we're all just playing a game for entertainment purposes. But yeah, of course it gets heated and whatnot, especially in the Discord after the races. But yeah, at the end of the day, it was a fun race, so I can't really complain.
Well done on P3. That was a very difficult drive, and I imagine there will be talks in the AlphaTauri garage. But in the meantime, mate, enjoy your P3, and I'll now hand over to Brundle, or RSF1 Rubens, to interview Dangerous Dan.
All right. Yeah, well done on your podium, Hardy. Very well deserved. To Dangerous Dan, almost forgot what car you were in. Mercedes. Yeah, I've got to say, first of all, actually, well done on your second place. So that's your first podium since China, which you won, according to this.
I think that's
it's
right.
It's been a while, so welcome back. Welcome back to the rostrum.
Thank you.
I've got to start off with qualifying though, because you left it very late in Q1 and again in Q2, and then stuck it on 4th place in Q3. I'd imagine that wasn't the plan. So what happened in Q1 and Q2, or you just came out late, I guess?
Well, obviously it's the shortest lap of the calendar, isn't it? So I thought I can go out with about 2 minutes left and still make it round. It was just sort of trying to take advantage of track evolution, really. But I was able to get through Q1 by the skin of my teeth, to be honest. It was about I think I finished 13th in Q1, but I managed to get through and finish qualified 4th in the end, which was decent, I thought. And then obviously we had to restart the race, and whatnot. But yeah, I thought qualifying went okay.
Yeah, and obviously to the race, incredible first stint. The battling that we saw, that obviously you were in the middle of, was ridiculous. You ended up going on to the mediums, like those around you. Obviously, you had Lukey and Hudson. They're just ahead of you, and of course, they were in a titanic battle for the lead. What were your tyres at the end? Because I'm quite surprised of this strategy actually working out here. Because you pitted on lap 13, I think.
I think like 15. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you went a lot longer. Because obviously, yeah.
Well,
so were they were going to struggle towards the end?
No, they were. My tyre wear has never been a strong point. They were at about 70-75% towards the end of the line. So I knew that I had to take the softs quite a way to make the strategy work. But yeah, I could tell that the two in front, Lukey mainly, was having much less trouble with the tyres than I was, and you could tell, I guess in the last couple of laps, I think the gap went from 3 seconds to about 3.7, which was, it lost me the gap on the penalty, but yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, were you a little bit gutted, because at one point you were keeping the gap towards the end of that race with Lukey. Obviously, Lukey was clearly pushing as hard as he can. Then obviously, were you worried about your own tyres puncturing, that you didn't push too much yourself, or were you happy with the second at that point?
I was happy with the second. I mean, the top step of the podium was obviously right in front of me, and it's annoying not to get to that point, but yeah, it was to come from, I didn't come from that far back, but to have that much battling going on and constantly stuck in DRS trains and trying to catch up to the front too, yeah, I'm pretty happy with second.
Yes, all good. Obviously, as I said, back on the rostrum since China. That seemed quite a while ago. But Silverstone next. Is that a track that you are hoping to keep the momentum going from this week?
Fingers crossed, yeah. I think I won it last season in F3. So if I can keep that momentum going and hopefully have competitive pace, then yeah, it's just trying to get back up there and get good points.
Yeah. But yeah, very well done. Congrats on your second, and hopefully be on the rostrum once again.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
And now, Lukey, very, very interesting day for you. First of all, congratulations on taking the win in Austria. Obviously, wasn't the easiest start of the day for everyone because of the very big problems we was having earlier, and we had to do the restart. And so you had to sort of go back from the start, but it gave everyone that fighting chance again, especially after that mass chaos. But it gave us some great battling in the end. You actually managed to put on a really good show battling with JJ Hudson for quite a long while. And you, Dangerous Dan, and JJ Hudson was panicking us because obviously at the end, JJ had a problem and he fell down due to the incident with those sparks. But when we got to the last lap, a person who's on the same distance on tyres with you, FFR Milan, had a puncture. The big question is how was you feeling on your grip? Because it's obvious JJ Hudson was not liking it, and you was under immense pressure of keeping Dan back, especially with your penalty.
Yeah, so my tyres at the end were nearing 80%, and I didn't actually realise until the final lap, because I was more concerned about my fuel. It was in the red at minus half a lap with two or three laps to go, so I was running lean throughout most of it to try and get that down. So that was my main concern, and I just decided to check the tyres, and it was 80% as I was on the final lap, so I was very lucky. But the grip still felt good, and I was still able to push, so it was a weird one.
It's been eventful for you. you take the win in Austria, that helps you in the championship battle. If I'm correct, I'll quickly pull up the table now because I just had to turn my phone off just when I really needed to get into the nitty-gritty of your championship battle. Just bear with me 1 minute, I'll quickly find that table.
I think I've halved the gap now. If my maths is correct.
The
Because
gap between you both, it was originally 26 points. Muddy Biscuit did come fourth, so that is 12 points. You have cut down the gap by 13 points. So you've slowly decreased Muddy's lead bit by bit over the past few weeks, which soon one of you is going to either lose the lead or take it. You know, it really is too close to tell, but you've both been driving amazingly in RSF1 for the full season since the start, and I can't even think of a rivalry that's been this incredibly strong. Because I'm trying to think of something. Because like Rapid Spray's back before joined late and made a lasting impression near the end, but it was too late to take that championship. Marks and Skunk Burner. Skunk went away for a while, which pretty much gave it to Marks. I really can't think of a battle in F2 in terms of the championship that's lasted this long and is still going that strong. The question is, though, are you confident in taking the championship, or do you reckon this is just too soon to tell?
It's really too soon to tell. I think we've only just hit the halfway point in the season. So anything can happen, but Muddy he's one of the most consistent drivers in the league, so he's keeping me on my toes, and the only way I'm going to beat him is consistency and getting podiums.
Well, I can say for sure, and Brundle and I can definitely say, your racing with Hudson had us entertained, especially when Hudson tried to sell you that dummy down turn 4, and you were not phased. You're absolutely unfazed, and he still stayed behind you. I just loved how cool and composed you were when JJ tried to trick you.
Yeah,
And not in a bad way, because, you know, it is in racing, it is mind games as well as skill and pace, and you just were mentally strong and not falling for it.
Yeah, at that moment I was just thinking, if you're going to send it, then just send it. Don't do like a half-hearted move, otherwise you're going to be spinning. So I was pretty confident going into the. I was pretty confident going into the corner, really. So it'd have me worried a bit though, because with my penalty and stuff, I thought I was gonna not get the win. But oh well, we get the win and move on to the next race.
Well done, Lukey. That has been a really, really good result today for yourself in the championship. It's a good point to the Racing Point team as well. I know in the constructors battle, you're quite close to the top against the McLaren, but I think you've decreased the gap between yourself and McLaren as well. So not just drivers battle, but constructors as well. So good work overall. And yeah, that has been it. And before we properly wrap up the stream, we would like to also pay our dearest respect to His Royal Highness after he recently passed away on Friday. So our deepest sympathies to the royal family, to the dear Queen. Our deepest sympathies and respects go to them, and we hope that they all are okay through this very, very tragic loss. Passed away, 99 years old. He was almost close to hitting a century in age, but he did remarkably well. So rest in peace to His Royal Highness. And yeah, Brundle, please take it away with wrapping up for the night.
Well said, Primus. Well said. We got there eventually. Honestly, well, we got there, and again, we had a good race. That's the thing I'd take away the most from today, is a good race from Austria. Or at least we'll try to. Not the issues, the good racing. Because that first stint, obviously not for all, but in general, was very, very good. The end was dramatic as well, and everything else. It was a good race all round for F2. This is what we needed after all the issues, so very well done. Yes, we have plenty more races for Austria this week. We have the F3 boys tomorrow. I believe it should be Easton and Jamie24 back in the comms box tomorrow. I will be back in the comms box on Tuesday with Rogue for F5. Wednesday is the F1 with Blazer and Hippo, and then Thursday is Spooky and Mega Centurion to finish off F4, which of course yourself, Primus, will be racing. I bet you're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm going to be trying to defend my championship lead. You know,
Of course, you're leading as well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm leading, but only just a margin because that France finish did hurt me. But yeah, if you want to find out more about action for F4 for the championship, tune in Thursday.
Plug.
I'm okay to do it. We're still the same league.
Also, if you want to see me score my first point in F1 on Wednesday, please watch that one.
You know they're not going
There's
to
my
make it
plug
easy
for you.
for you now that you said that.
No, I'm not. But yes, make sure you watch the rest of RSF1 action, because promise you, fingers crossed, it'll be smoother, but I promise you there'll be plenty more great racing this week. Definitely looking forward to watching it and taking part. F2, of course, will be back in Silverstone next Sunday for the British Grand Prix, the home of the British Grand Prix. Again, another one to personally look forward to. That'll be then. Your top three today: Hardy in the AlphaTauri in third, second for Danger Stand Mercedes. Lukey with the win closes the gap in the championship battle to Muddy Biscuit. Primus, thank you for your company.
Thank you very much. And just for one more cut in, if you want to vote for your chosen driver of the day, please go onto Twitter at Racing Series F1. A poll will soon be opened on your chosen driver of the day, and if they win driver of the day, they will be entered at the end of the week into driver of the week. So please keep an eye on our Twitter. Make sure you've got it followed, because we really appreciate it. And yeah, and it's been a phenomenal day, Brundle. We had a bit of a rough start, but we got a brilliant race at the end.
Yeah, very well done. So, see you next time. Good night. Stay safe still. Take care.
Take it
See you
easy.
next time.